Our clock's slow. Okay, Board of Bannock County Commissioners are now in session. No changes to the agenda. So, indigent business.
Commissioners, Chantel just has one release of lien for several cases there.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the release of liens.
we have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Just my signature. All right, and then you're the first person on the agenda, Nancy.
Commissioner Daniel Harrelson is here with the Department of Greenway, and he sent the project out for bid, and is here to report on the bid received.
I'm Dan Harrelson with Portneuf Greenway Foundation. We, in cooperation with the county, advertised a project to build a path from the existing Greenway path on the event center property over to the boundary of the event center, and then across some private property to the I-15 right-of-way, and then we'll connect with the path that ITD puts in probably next summer, maybe late this summer. The piece that was on the county property was going to be funded with a Idaho Parks and Recreation grant for $35,000 with $10,000 of match provided by the Greenway Foundation. We advertised, well, I emailed bid packages to 3 different companies, and then we advertised it twice in the Idaho State Journal. As I said, we had $35K in Idaho Parks and Rec funding, $10K in Greenway funding. Our bid came in at $54,000, so about $9,000 higher than what was estimated. A big chunk of that difference was for a culvert that I didn't anticipate that's going to handle drainage there on the event center property. So that was several $1,000s in difference. And then I just misestimated the gravel price, the price for aggregate. I was quite a bit low on the price of gravel. I estimated $10,000, and I believe it came in at $18,000 or $16,000. On asphalt, the bid was a little bit less than what I estimated. So the net difference was about $9,000. You know, we advertised it, we sent it to people. We only got one bid for the $54K. I think it's a good bid. The Greenway Board, we voted last week, we had a meeting last week and voted to pay the difference. So there'd be no net cost to the county. The $35K would still come from the Idaho Parks and Rec, and the balance between the $35K and the $54,000 would be covered by the Greenway. So there's no cost to the county, and I recommend that that we accept the bid.
I have a question. In the packet, it shows the bid at $81,000.
So the piece on the piece on the county property is 54, and then when you add the additional piece across the private property, that totals to the 81.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Scott, you've been involved in some of this. Any
Yeah.
questions, concerns?
Nope, I think we've got a good plan for getting forward, so.
Okay. Any questions, concerns?
No, I'm okay. So, Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve the bid as presented and discussed.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Looks like we're going to have a walking path. Huh?
Yeah, we'll get to work. Should be May 15th is the target completion date.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
All right.
Carrie's sick today, so I'll take this one. So, Commissioners, this is a signature on a quote from Tyler Technologies to process and upload the microfilm images that we have. And this is the first step in a longer process. This is budgeted for. You've already signed the contract for it. This is just signing this first quote for the initial steps forward.
Questions?
Nope, I remember this was budgeted for, so we're good. Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve signature on the first quote as presented.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, Shanda.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shanna Crystal, Chief Procurement Officer. I have 2 items before the board today. And the first is that last week I was able to go out for an informal bid for the lumber for the grandstands project. And those bids now need to be read into the record, and they are in the chairman's packet.
I'll let you go ahead and read them, and each one has just a header.
Okay, the first bid is from Builders First Source BMC, lumber bid $37,417.41. The second bid is from Franklin Building Supply, lumber bid $34,322.32. The Home Depot is the third bid, lumber bid at $37,110.21. And the fourth bid and final bid looks like it's from Lowe's Home Centers, lumber bid of $37,345.38. And that is it.
Okay,
Now having those read into the record, it was an invitation to bid, meaning there's nothing to evaluate or anything like that. I would ask that the board, I would recommend to the board that they award this lumber bid for the grandstand projects to Franklin Building Supply for the $34,322.32.
any questions?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we accept the recommendation and approve the bid from Franklin Building Supply.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Great, thank you.
And the delivery time is within a week
Yesterday.
or so?
Yeah. I can't, all 4 of them said that they would have it within a week, so I can't remember exactly where Franklin was, but we'll reach out and I'm sure they'll get it just as quickly as we can get it here.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Christie.
Krista Clauser, Comptroller. I have before the board a request to cover adult probation critical equipment. This was budgeted for in the adult probations department. However, on the bottom line, it wasn't included in the total. So while the number was there, it really was not budgeted for because it wasn't in the total. So I am asking, the total is $9,000 overall. This invoice that I have is for tasers, and it is for $4,001.48. I was hoping the board would allow us to pay that $9,000 out of PILT, and what we would do is reallocate the money from the jail boiler project, like we did for juvenile probation and for the wellness complex patrol position. Right now, it's looking like we're only going to have $8,100 in bills for the jail boiler. We have another update phone call next week on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. That project should be wrapping up that day or before, but we've heard that for the last 6 weeks. So,
It's the first of the year.
yeah, so there is sufficient funding, and this was an error on our office's part, so I'm hoping the board would allow me to cover it that way.
So, in PILT funds, what do you feel is available then?
Well, we have the $400,000 that was budgeted for the jail boiler,
Okay,
and we've only reallocated $41,000, so this would put us at $50,000. That still leaves $350,000 in there, and $8,100 roughly that we'll have to pay Rocky Mountain. There might be another very small invoice, but we're not going to come even close to, I don't think, $20,000. But again, I won't plan any large expenditures out of there until that boiler project is complete.
yeah, okay. Okay. Questions?
No, and this was for tasers, is there anything else in there?
They are going to purchase, there's one more purchase that they're going to make
Was it
for
for
$5,000, and I think that was vests, yeah.
Okay, all right. I think I remember the discussion, so
Yeah, they were going to
okay.
do tasers and vests.
Okay,
And that's why this is up to 9,000?
Yeah,
okay.
because that's what they had tried to budget for.
Yeah, I remember the discussion, so.
Okay, if you're good with that, then I'll just submit a reallocation, and then also I can put these invoices in your packet for Thursday to be signed, and then we can process them next week.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Todd.
Good morning. Todd Marger with Bannock County Juvenile Justice in the Village. I'm here today for seeking approval to submit the Idaho Office of Drug Policy 2025 Substance Use Prevention, Treatment, and Recovery Services Block Grant for primary prevention programs. As you're aware, this is the program or the funding that provides our Families in Action, which is a evidence-based substance abuse education program. This year's total grant is for $10,201.42. The request is for that. It'll provide 6 cohorts of Families in Action at the Village. The cost of that is $7,316, and then Program 2, we've opted to do Teens in Action at Marsh Valley Middle School to the 7th graders, and that total on that program is $2,885.41. We will be looking at some pilot program options for the satellite offices in Oneida and Caribou County, and looking at it. We have books that are available in our storage, and then we do have AmeriCorps members and interns that are capable of running those programs. So that will be our request if I can get approval to submit the grant. It's due. They had a problem with the website. The original submit date was March 15th. They've moved it back to March 17th. But it's an online application, so there's really nothing to sign until we get a grant award back, just seeking approval to submit.
No grant match and no in-kind.
Nope.
Would you just give me a high-level refresher of what the Families in Action and the Teens in Action is?
Yeah, so like I said, it's an evidence-based substance abuse education program. There's 2 groups. There's a youth group and a parent group that goes on at the same time. It's 2.5 hours long. There's 6 sessions in each of the cohorts. They focus on different parenting styles, doormat parent, the dictator parent, and then they try to teach them about the active parent, which is parenting with freedom and boundaries. Gets into the adolescent brain development, relationship building. There's family enrichment activities. The real deal is it's building relationships and then communication between the parent and the youth, and then it does get into the detrimental effects of using substances from a social, economic, and health standpoint as well. They learn iMessages, how to communicate with each other, that type of thing.
So is this a pre-drug abuse program or
It is.
during drug
It
abuse?
is. So when we do the screenings on the assessments, kids that do not qualify for substance abuse treatment but are showing those at-risk signs of possible substance use, it's ideal for them. When we deliver it to Marsh Valley, it's to all the 7th graders, so the class can be taught in with parents only, with teens only, or together. And the one that's we're teaching at Marsh Valley Middle School is teens only. So yeah.
So it's a preventative?
It's preventative, yes. It's
Okay.
if they qualify for substance abuse treatment, then we're going into the SUDS realm of things. But it is preventative intervention.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Motion?
Mr. Chair, I would authorize application and submission for the grant.
Have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll see you back in June
Okay.
or before then.
Okay. Braden, Josh, you want to come on up? So this is a continuing discussion on our HR. How's things going?
Oh, pretty good so far. been nice and fun. Haven't been bored yet. Say the name. Yeah. Josh Waters, Human Resource Professional. Thanks for the reminder.
Braden Clayson, Chief of Staff. Josh has continued to do a lot of the day-to-day things. We're getting invoices paid. Christy's assisting us with that as well. I've got a Blue Cross one here. We've had really no major issues pop up. Josh has been able to attend to the day-to-day operations and do so effectively, it feels like. We've had some conversations about organizations and things that we're going to do preemptively to try to keep things from maybe falling through the cracks on us, especially where he's the only one in there right now handling the entire day-to-day flow. And then I assist where needed, but he's done a good job keeping up with that. And it seems like we're staying on top of a lot of the risk management stuff, automobile accidents, things of that nature. As far as getting the new job description, I took Christie's corrections and implemented those. I think I sent it to you guys last week. I'll have to double check, but I believe I did as far as the new job description goes. So as long as with those changes, you guys are good with that, we can implement that and get that posted as quickly as you'd like. I'll work with Josh on getting that done. Josh will be out in May. So we're trying to come up with some contingencies for that. He'll be out for 3 or 4 weeks. So we're trying to work real fast and try to figure out how we're going to operate then. Christy has been great as far as offering payroll to assist us with new employee orientation and some things there that they're comfortable with. What am I missing?
Have we had a new employee orientation?
We have them every Monday.
Every Monday we have them.
Yeah, but did we do one this last week and there were people in it?
There were 2 out of 3 people that showed up, so yeah.
Okay, and how did that process work with kind of the things we've been talking about?
Well, it was an easier one because they were all temporary employees, no benefits. So every single thing that we need can be filled out at that time. So yeah, it was an easier one.
So we have 4 salary approval forms, I think, today. Is that where they come out of? They're temporary, a lot of them are in elections.
They're all my employees for the summer help.
These are
new ones.
elections, yeah. The ones for orientation.
I was a little bit worried we had another
This should be
last week.
mainly Danielle, Greg, and Nancy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I talked to, we talked about having us as a backup for orientations. We just need a copy of the slides and a packet. And then if, I suppose, a chance Josh is out sick on a Monday, as soon as we get notified, we can cover.
Thank you.
And Josh has provided the slides. We're going to put them on the computer up here. We're working on getting a calendar together that will kind of help guide that, and we'll give access to payroll. And if I can't handle it, then we'll reach out to them. But otherwise, everything seems to be going about as smooth as it can, given the shortage.
Okay. Any questions about the job descriptions?
Just if you guys got a chance to see it, and if we've got the blessing to post it.
I think I was good with it. I remember reading it last week, so I think I'm good with
We
it.
have an estimated hire date of, depending on the salary, May 6th or May 20th.
I think salary was the only issue that wasn't resolved, but
Yeah, and you sent me that, or did you send that to everybody or just me?
No, I just sent it to you because I didn't know the direction I wanted to go. Once I had direction of, then I could do projections and send it to everybody.
Okay.
Let me look at that email real quick.
I remember reading it. I don't remember if I sent you a message
Correctly,
back.
if we keep it at the current salary, the position can be replaced on, I was trying to remember how to spell Ernie.
It's amazing how tough that name is.
If we keep the current salary, we can hire on May 6th. If you would like to change it to A grade 17, then the hire date would be moved to May 20th.
And I would like to have the option to go to 17 and look at it, put it out there and as we interview people.
It's kind of DOE.
That's,
Just put that in.
that was my
Put
thought.
16 and then up to DOE or whatever.
I'm still thinking that, well, I think I'd like to get a meeting together with the clerk's office and payroll and have a discussion about moving some of these duties around and not rehiring a director. Because I think it would be an option, and you'd have to weigh in on this, to put this under the clerk's department, and then they would be the supervisors over this operation, and look at how some of the duties might be moved to other areas. I was also looking at the risk management piece and wanting to have a discussion, so we'd have to include legal, because I want to talk to them about the risk management piece of it. But I'd like to have that discussion with these groups and see if that's feasible before we post and hire a new position. I think it might be possible that we don't have to hire anybody to do the work if there's enough people to absorb some of it. Or maybe if that's not feasible, maybe we're looking at hiring a technician or an HR data person rather than a director.
I don't mind having a discussion, but I'm not away from, you'd have to convince me to go away from this as a director, honestly. I think that, this is probably the first time you just heard about it.
Think about it, and I know when we talked about it last week, I did put a poll out to the clerks, and it's like about 61% of the counties HR is under the clerk. I don't care. I just want us to create the most efficient system for us. I don't care where anything is housed. I want the most efficient system for us that we can make. And so if we want to look at other ways, I'm totally on board with it. If we want to talk about risk management and Christy and I specifically talked about risk management the other day, and I think having an HR professional is important, and risk management could probably be handled with one of the girls in auditing pretty easily.
Possibly, we just need to see scope of the
Scope of
day-to-day
that?
tasks and how.
There's somebody that's
involved it
already
is.
there.
But
So we could talk about it. I mean, it might be a good idea.
And what I would like to do, let's set up a date to talk about it, but I'd also like to put this out. I'd like to start to see what we start to attract to, just to give us an idea of if we attract anybody at all, what kind of price range we're in. It's not going to cost us anything to put it out there, to start, at least, be going in both directions a little bit. Because, like I say, Josh has got some family things going on, and I just would like to be in motion anyway, so that we have some answers,
Cover
directions.
all of our bases.
Yeah.
Well, and, sorry, if I may, it depends on what kind of HR function and HR department and stuff we want. So if we want a strictly transactional HR function, then the options mentioned would work. If you're thinking more strategic, and being more involved with like some of the change management and, any of that stuff that we need.
Well, and that's a discussion we'll end up having more of. I feel like we still need to improve in our change management, the processes of how we do things. I think that we still need to be involved with the safety committee, some of these things, the factors that are out there. So to it would be overwhelming to throw that all on somebody in anybody's department right now, in my opinion. That's why let's get the questions that you have, and let's talk about each one so that we have the direction we look there. But I'd also like to say, I think that we need to look at this professional. I think that HR with 300, 400 people is vital. We have employees now that are coming to HR and stuff like that. I think it's a little different from when we first started here. I think that the confidence in some of HR and stuff, I mean, I still think that we have the ability to improve on that in that department. Not saying that we're not doing better, but we still have growth.
I think we've got some opportunities that we could fix some things. There were some changes made that I think we could relook at also
Yeah.
with this change.
And I know we're always looking to save tax dollars, but also to keep throwing more and more on people. I mean, that's challenging. I mean, whether it's you or your offices and the people, we got to look after them too.
So then we'll proceed with posting the job today, just grade 16, depending on experience. Does that sound good?
I'm okay with that. I agree with Jason. I'm more than happy to take a look and see if there's something that we can do different that would improve our processes and make us better. I also agree with Josh. I don't want a transactional HR department, especially for a company our size. I think we need to have that leadership and that direction. So, but if we can get creative and create a system that is efficient and works, I want to take a look at it. So I agree with John. Let's take a look and see, ask some questions.
So next Tuesday, let's have another HR meeting and talk a little about directions and stuff.
Okay. All right, we can get that going. You have anything else you want to add? Yeah. We'll talk about it after. I think we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have, for signature only, an agreement to provide law enforcement protection for Pocatello Downs, modification of a grant or agreement with the Forest Service, tax cancellation request, and then commissioner's proceedings. I don't know if you had a chance to look at these contracts.
I haven't looked at them. I don't know if Alan has.
Okay. It looks like it's the original contract that we've had with Pocatello Downs, but we have gone up to $63 per hour per officer, where we was like at 44, 45
Thought we were
before.
at 50 before.
We've been then.
And it's the same contract we used in the past, because I know those have been reviewed.
Yeah, yeah. So, questions or concerns on Pocatello Downs? Motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the Pocatello Downs agreement with the Sheriff's Office.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll go around the table today. The next one is an agreement with the Forest Service to provide law enforcement. And it looks like the same agreement that we've had in the past. There was some money left over, so it's a total of $5,200 on this one. Any questions on it?
No, Mike, well, the only question I had is it's the Forest Service is changing their portion of the grant, not us.
Yes, yes, just adding to the funds.
Right, okay. Yeah, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the Forest Service grant modification as presented.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And next we have tax cancellation requests. I talked to Anita this morning. One of them is a tribal exemption, and he is a tribal member. She has a picture of his card and stuff on there. then the state tax exemption, and then 2 BTA exemptions or changes. Questions on them? Motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the tax cancellation request as requested by the assessor.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then final one for signature only, this is Commissioner's proceedings for the month of February.
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the commissioner's proceedings as presented.
Oh, sorry. We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, next, under the consent agenda, we have a cardholder user agreement and authorization. I don't know if I want to sign this one or not.
Who's it for?
Dave Martinez. He's not going to be a county employee.
No, he is for no.
Why do we want to give him authority? Then we have minutes for March 5th and March 7th. And then we also have the 4 salary rate approval forms.
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There's 5. I thought there were 4 originally.
There's one new court employee and 4 elections, right?